Chad, this is just cuff up, chat. Guys, Chad, this is detective slop. This is even more sloppy toppy. Chad, this is detective sloppy toppy. Okay. So, guys, I'll give it a shot, chat. And we shall see. It's called Amber's Afternoon. Chat, it's a long video, but I'll give it a shot. They've been uploading it very weird, so if I feel like it's too weird, I won't bother. But we'll see.
I'll have him bring that Gatorade. I'm actually gonna grab water myself.
Yeah, don't be making weird references to real people that we know and shit like that.
This is 20-year-old Amber Riswin, sitting inside a police interrogation room at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. All you need to know at this moment is that Amber doesn't quite realize how much trouble she's in.
Boy, get her going. Hold on. I'm done drinking that. I don't know what she did, but...
Amber, is it? I'm Detective Edwards. I know we spoke on scene and I asked you if you'd be kind enough to, come down here so that we could talk. Before we talk, I'm going to protect myself and protect you, okay? And I'm just going to inform you of your rights. You have the right to remain silent and not answer any questions, and any statement can and will be used against you in the court of law. Alright, so... broad and general question, what happened? Take a deep breath.
Okay. Last night was a culmination of things that had been going on for the past week and month or so. I've been there since January, and Blake has been progressively more aggressive towards me. He would make abusive statements. He would hold me by the wrists and shake me around. He spit in my face yesterday, and he would also have these angry fits of rage where he would start breaking things and throwing things around. And he even put a bunch of scratches on my guitar. And then last night he decided to buy LSD and was acting nutso. And then I laid down on the futon in the center living room, and Blake was starting to play around with the gun. And he was pointing it at me at this point. It was sideways. And so I grabbed it and I pushed his hand away. I grabbed it again and I let loose.
Where'd you shoot him on his body?
I think I shot him in his face.
Doesn't make any sense at all, what?
And why there?
He was just there, in front of me. He was smothering me. So that was within my arm's reach, there was this much of him.
I gotcha.
And he started spilling the blood everywhere, and he came up to get me, and then that's when I cut him, because at that point I reached into my pocket, and I got my knife and I cut him. And then he opened the door, he got outside, and then...
So she shoots somebody in the head, then you back out, you drop the gun that's still loaded, I would assume, and you swap weapon, and then you do the knife thing.
He started screaming and saying help me, and then the other guard showed up, and he was threatening me. He kicked me, that guard that called the police. They were being aggressive towards me too, and they thought that I was just some prostitute.
I gotcha. So as he's crawling outside, what's going on in this moment? Are you behind him? Or are you in front of him?
I was behind him, and I was trying to get him back inside. That way there wasn't some scene. I really didn't want to deal with people outside.
You may have already noticed that Amber's interrogation won't require a whole lot of analysis. So for contrast, you'll be presented with 4 additional subjects with very different personalities. The first of which will begin right away. From what we could research about Ashley Benfield, she was an extremely talented dancer. able to confidently perform with natural poise in front of large crowds in sold-out theaters. But according to reports, her social presence was considerably more reserved, with people describing her as friendly, but somewhat shy and sometimes withdrawn, unless she was under the influence of enough alcohol, which was reportedly the case when she met former naval pilot Doug Benfield at a business conference, and broke the ice by revealing she had a concealed firearm tucked into her bra. Despite a 30-year age gap, they seemed to fall quickly in love and got married 14 days later. They then launched the American National Ballet together, which Ashley conceptualized hoping to create a worldwide organization. But the company failed to get investors and dissolved quickly thereafter. Ashley then filed for divorce, but was already pregnant with their daughter. So they then had to co-parent together over the following 2.5 years, which created considerable tension, culminating in Ashley shooting Doug in the leg and chest when he was visiting her mother's house. She then ran to the neighbors, claiming that Doug had attacked her and that she had been forced to shoot him. Then she called her attorney, who accompanied her to the police station and informed investigators that she would not be providing a statement.
Okay, Ashley, I'm Detective Flonzinski. I'm with the Manatee County Sheriff's Office Homicide Unit. I know that we haven't talked yet, and we're not going to be taking a statement from you. That's fine. I have a search warrant, okay? And your attorney's here. I'm going to give it a copy to both of you so you guys can read it, but I'm going to actually read it to you first. But no one can stop this process, just so you know, because it is a search warrant, all right? You can't refuse it. If you do refuse it, there's actually a charge for that. It's called obstruction to a search warrant. All right, we're going to stop recording?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Are you all right?
Oh, I'm fine.
This is somebody else's dial
Sorry
today.
for her. She doesn't eat anything all day or anything like that.
Do you want me to get you something?
No, I don't think she can eat. She hasn't been able to eat, so. But no,
How can I make her more comfortable?
no, she's fine.
Okay, I mean, the last thing I want her to do is feel like, you know, she's going to pass out, or if I can make her more comfortable. Ashley, I understand that, you know, you're not supposed to be talking to me, but you can tell your attorney I'm hungry or thirsty or something, and I will get you whatever you wanted. Aspirin, I rushed and got you aspirin. I know that I'm supposed to be the bad guy in this situation
Yeah.
to you.
Judge, I feel like she's trying to like back this up, whatever, because as like a reason not to talk, whatever. But they don't need a reason to not talk to the police. Like what?
I'm not trying to be the bad guy.
Is
I
she
don't
like a
want to
rookie
be
or
the
something?
bad
I don't
guy.
get it.
If I can help you, please tell me how I can help you, okay? This is teamwork as far as I'm concerned. I want to get the truth, and you want me to know the truth.
Police would find no evidence to support her case for self-defense. There were no signs of a struggle, and nothing to indicate that Doug had attacked her prior to the shooting. She was charged with second-degree murder, then released on $100,000 bond awaiting trial. It began on July 23, 2024.
Do you have any hobbies?
I love art. I like drawing, painting, sculpting, ballet. I enjoy gardening, baking, cooking. Most importantly, I'm a mom.
I want to ask you about Doug. When did the two of you meet?
Objection relevance.
We met August 25th of
Yeah, the other one.
2016.
Like I don't get it.
Did he
Obvious.
turn out to be who you thought he was?
No, not at all.
I want to direct your attention, Ashley, now, if I can, to the day of the homicide, September 27, 2020. Specifically, late in the afternoon, would you tell us why Doug was at your home?
He came over to help load some of the larger items that my mom and I had kind of pre-staged in the garage into the U-Haul truck. We started getting into a back and forth about being done for the day and what still needed to be packed and that I wanted to be done. And we ended up in our daughter's bedroom and he started screaming at me. He said, "Shut the fuck up."
Did you take any steps to try to avoid anything further?
Yes, I ran to try to leave the house.
He stops her from leaving, so she runs upstairs.
Where?
To my room.
Why?
Because I was scared.
She grabs one of the two guns she had in her bedroom.
And what do you see, Ashley, when you look up?
Doug was standing in the doorway. His face was red. Like the veins were bulging in his neck. His eyes were black.
Does he yell anything at you?
He said, "You're fucking done."
At that point, Ashley, what are you thinking?
I thought he was gonna kill me.
Judge, could we have a minute, maybe a brief recess to have her compose herself?
All right. Or you all can have a seat.
If a single shared expression could capture the essence of a trial, this would probably be it. You have the victim's daughter, brother, sister-in-law, cousin, 3 nieces, and the prosecution.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Ma'am,
It's not the jury. I don't think they would show it.
Okay, thank you.
Ma'am, there's Kleenexes here next to you.
It's anyone's guess as to why Ashley got so freaked out by the mention of a Kleenex. But it's worth noting that she has not, and will not, shed a single tear for the duration of her testimony. People can of course get emotional without shedding tears, so you can decide for yourself what exactly is going on here. It's just interesting that she keeps wiping her face when there's nothing to wipe.
Okay, thank you.
Even if she did cry though, it'd be pretty easy and understandable that she uses the threat of her going to jail, of like her life is over, to cry and piggyback that emotion to deliver the statement with that emotional carry with it, you know?
If I wore the wrong
do that pretty
thing,
often.
he would call me a whore or a slut. I feel like I couldn't do anything right. I feel like I had made a really big mistake marrying him. Sometimes he would drive really scary, yelling and screaming at me and like running up on curbs. One time he almost hit a tree.
I would like to just start with a couple of issues. So Doug had a vasectomy removal in April of 2017, right?
Yes.
And you paid for that?
Part of it went on my debit card or my credit card.
And your intention was to get pregnant?
Yes, we had talked about that, yeah.
During this time, you said he had started criticizing you, right?
Mm-hmm.
About the way you looked, your clothes, the way you acted. He was, according to you, he flipped a table, tried to flip a table, threw a chair, right?
Yes.
He would scream at you.
Yes.
He would call you slut and whore.
Yes.
And you want a baby.
What you're seeing here is known as strategic insinuation, where tone and rhetorical framing are used to undermine credibility. This is especially effective when paired with nonverbal cues, such as the look the prosecutor is now giving the defendant. She is not allowed to speculate nor accuse the defendant until her closing statement, so this is her way of doing both without technically breaking any rules.
Yeah. You know what I think it also sucks though is that there could be a lot of explanation on why that's the case, right? But when the one asking the questions though, they won't. She knows that there's explanations, whatever. But they're just gonna fucking haul in or whatever because the jury.
Yeah, we were married. We
just
wanted a family.
Okay.
And here we have the infamous microtransgression. Here's another one.
In fact, during this time in South Carolina, you never worked, did you?
He wouldn't let me work.
They would debug it during cross, but I mean, with them
As you can tell, the way she says okay isn't neutral. It's laced with skepticism and condescension, conveying the subtext of disbelief without saying the words. What's intriguing about these elements is how their effectiveness depends heavily on the power dynamics in the courtroom. This is what we refer to as a very low to very high power dynamic. And to give you a better understanding of this concept, we'll show you a circumstance on the complete opposite end of the spectrum.
And you're not trained in accident reconstruction.
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Neither am I.
This is what being a fan looks like, of the person you're meant to be prosecuting. The story here is that her client Terry skied into the back of Gwyneth Paltrow and is now trying to sue her for $3 million.
All right. You were wearing goggles, a helmet.
Yes.
Okay, kind of looked like everybody else on the slope.
That's always my intention.
Okay. Miss Paltrow, isn't it true that this was an accident that you caused?
No, ma'am.
Chad, how did they just not like just redo the trial and rebuild it with another prosecutor? This lady is just unprofessional. I don't get it.
Okay, well,
And I can tell you that Mr. Sanderson categorically hit me on that ski slope, and that is the truth.
and I'm sure that that's what you believe. I'm not saying
Because it's the truth.
I'm not saying that.
Let's get a question.
So
She's now about to ask Gwyneth her most confrontational question, which she really doesn't want to ask.
maybe do you agree with that? That on that day of the collision, you were not engaging in any kind of risky behavior, especially
Correct.
because your kids were there.
I was not engaging in any risky behavior.
Okay. Especially
Correct.
because your kids were there.
I was not engaging.
Now compare this disposition of "please forgive me, Gwyneth Paltrow" to "I categorically do not like you, do not trust you, and have no problem letting both you and the entire world know about it."
Are you scared here of Doug?
No, I would not say no.
You said on direct examination that around this time you were living the nightmare.
Wait, was the Gwyneth thing
Those were
criminal
your
trial?
words, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Were you living the nightmare here?
Oh no, not at that moment. No, that was a very nice day.
How about at this moment?
Yeah, it's a civil.
It was a good day.
And
It's a civil thing. This is not that is not a great comparison. Civil tort.
States 102 at this moment.
Same. It was a good day. Sometimes things are really good, and other times they weren't.
Not a great comparison. Sorry.
I wasn't going to disagree with him in front of anybody.
Okay.
mean, what if I had
So I want to
anyone
get
that-
to the night that all this happened. So you knew Doug was coming over.
Yes.
You invited him over
Yes.
to help you move stuff in the house.
Well, specifically stuff in the garage, but yes.
And you thought he was going to kill you.
He wouldn't let me leave. I tried to leave. He stopped me.
The question is, you thought he was going to kill you.
Yeah.
Where was your firearm?
It was in the bin on top of the basket.
Okay. And that was not your only firearm in that room, correct?
Correct.
You had a firearm in the closet.
My carry gun was in my backpack, which was my purse at the time.
Judge, if I could have her step down so she can demonstrate.
You may.
So Doug opens the
I
door
love theatrics.
and does what?
Standing in the doorway, kind of like this. He said, "You're fucking done." And I held the gun out in front of me and said, "Stop." He got into this fighting pose where he turned sideways. And he was moving around with his arms in his hands. And he started inching forward towards me.
So he's standing there. He turns to like this and starts moving his arms around.
I'm like that.
Well, show me. What was he doing?
And I don't know, he got like this, and he was making fighting motions. I don't know, I'm not a fighter, I don't know.
Okay.
She looks like a mime.
Not
Karate chop, bro. Holy! Oh my god, dude.
Hands and fists.
Not at that point, they were I don't know.
So you start shooting, and he falls down on his back.
Dude, that's insane.
Legs went up in the air.
Okay, where do his legs go?
In the air.
How high in the air?
I don't know.
And were you still shooting at the time?
Dude, Chad, you know what's good? I feel like her lawyers and her team didn't train her for this, right? And as soon as she saw some weakness, she was like max win, and she just all in on that because of the GG.
I don't remember.
She knew that they weren't ready for this.
You can have a seat.
That was pretty well done.
All right, the verdict appears to be in proper form. Madam Clerk, would you please publish the verdict?
We, the jury, finds as follows.
Chad, that one, by the way, that was a real cry. That was a "I'm cooked" cry. It's not a cry of I remember the incident. It's a cry of "I'm cooked."
As to the defendant in this case. The defendant is guilty of manslaughter, a lesser included offense. Juror number 15, is this your verdict as well as the verdict of the jury as a whole?
Yes.
Members of the jury, I want to thank you for your time and consideration in this case. I always ask, though, is there anybody that I haven't heard from, any testimony I didn't hear, any evidence that I didn't hear, anything at all that I need to know to make a fair decision in this matter?
Your Honor, Ms. Benfield feels that I've spoken for her.
Excellent.
We're somehow getting the sense that Ashley doesn't quite share the same sentiment.
All right.
Ashley is about to realize the judge isn't cutting to the chase and will instead drag out the process with pre-sentencing remarks. It's such a fascinating moment because it's at the very last stage of where she knows she is being watched, and a time where you really don't want to be visibly annoyed at the judge.
I like to do that. I think it's funny.
The first thing we need to do
They
is
cook them
talk
to a
about
crisp
the score sheet to start from. My ultimate conclusion, Ms. Benfield, is that this is not a downward departure case. So with that said, the sentence of the court will be as follows.
Just reading
I'm going to sentence you to 20 years in Florida State Prison. That's to be followed by 10 years of probation. You must initially report to the Bradenton Department of Corrections.
That's it, though?
We'll be able to provide you a map of where that is.
This is Ashley Benefield's latest mugshot. Her earliest release date is in December of 2041. We'll now take you back to Amber's interrogation.
I really didn't want to deal with people outside.
Okay.
So once he got outside, he was up, you know? So he slammed against the door, he was up, and he opens the door, and he goes outside and he starts running, and then once he gets across the street, I see him pull his head up like this, or maybe his head falls, and then he like walks and sits down over by the guard, and he's like, oh, help me, and the guard's just like starting to laugh, you know? And then the guard kicks me, and they're calling me, they're cursing at me, and so I just go back into the place, and I get the keys.
See, now that's where I have to ask you a question.
These people always feel like the more details, the better, so they always ramble, but they don't realize that sometimes even the smallest things, it widens the scope, and the wider the scope is, the more there can be discrepancies, and then you're gonna get clapped when the time comes. It is what it is.
We had 4 witnesses on scene that said they saw you go up to him and slice his throat. So what happened with that? Was he doing something that made you perform that action, or what happened with that?
He just kept grabbing at me, and he was like trying to like get me to like I don't know, like be brought down to his level.
Okay.
I no.
I still want to get back.
He was still threatening me.
Okay, so that's what I want to get into. Is that how he ended up? Because he has it on his neck. Okay, and they saw you literally leaving within seconds behind him, following him, and they identified you, which is how we knew it was you.
I couldn't let him just stay like that, you know? I was like, I felt bad.
Stay like what?
Like just in a state of just like blood spilling from his mouth.
Is that after you cut his neck?
No. Before that.
What?
Before you cut his neck?
Yeah.
What?
Okay. So before, when he was crawling out of the door and you were following behind him, was he saying anything to you?
He wasn't crawling, he was standing.
Okay, so he was standing and he was running towards somebody outside. And you were behind him. What were you saying to him as you were running behind him?
I just kept saying things like, can you please stop? He broke an aerosol can inside of the place by just chucking it at the bed. And it blew up everywhere.
Okay.
And then he like threw he kicked a box of like really sharp like bones.
Okay. Did you say she's trying to say that she said, can you stop, as she's walking towards him or chasing him down?
An animal at me while I was sleeping.
Okay.
And he's done things like played around with knives, like really scarily. And I just had more and more of a reason to just be upset or to be on edge.
Okay.
That's really what I mean.
Let me get this right. He's in the house playing around with the gun and he supposedly points it at you. You manage to get it out of his hand.
He does, yes.
And then fire it at his head. At this time, he's now on his butt at the front door. Is that where everything kind of happened?
Yeah, I was sleeping there with my head against the door on the futon. And so when he approached me, that all happened, and then he sat back, and then he got up.
Okay.
After getting shot in the face.
Okay.
He was like screaming on the trip, and he was like, "You're ruining this for me!" And I was just like, I don't understand what I did wrong. Like I was just laying on the couch and trying to go to sleep. I'm trying to look cute, you know, like with your little like bear blanket or whatever.
So now, once he's on the ground after he's shot, then what?
He gets up. He goes and slams his body up against the door.
Okay.
He opens the door. He runs outside.
But I thought you said you stabbed him again before he ran out.
I didn't stab him. I cut him.
Okay, so you cut him before he ran out.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you cut his throat before he ran out or after?
Before and after.
And then at what point did he get this cut?
Huh?
That was just a larger one after I followed him. And
But why that one?
What should I say?
What should you say? What happened?
Of course.
Yeah.
Jeff, she thinks she's beating this because she thinks that once something starts as self-defense, it's all the way through, and you're clear to do whatever you want all the way. That's not entirely true, though. That's bro, like, the whole timeline matters. Every segment matters. If the threat is over and the person runs away or whatever, right? And you chase him down and all that, yeah, I mean, brother, you're guilty. I mean, what?
Yeah. Why that cut here?
He's no longer self-defense, buddy.
No. There was no statement or anything. I was just looking to do whatever it took to get him down.
Okay, because now what I'm understanding is he's trying to separate himself from you and go and get help, and you're following behind him with the knife.
No, I didn't do that. I definitely sent him out there with a cut. I didn't follow him and then like slit him throat to throat, like I mean ear to ear. That was just what existed. I was running on adrenaline.
I could imagine.
And that was just not, it wasn't okay, and it wasn't okay to do in public, but I didn't pull his head back or anything.
So how did you do it? Like,
well, the same way that you would normally do it.
What?
He ran out of the house. How far away were you behind him? Because I know you can see him because you approached him. Okay, so a yard.
Because I was worried and I didn't want him to go out into the street or anything.
Okay, why not?
Because he was just a mess. He was like...
Did you just not want people to see what happened?
Yeah,
or?
I mean, it was just scary.
Okay.
And Blake talked to the neighbors all the time. And so he's a huge ass-kisser. And like, he just like does that, and there's nothing wrong with it, but he'll like invite them in and like get screwed up with them and like...
Screwed up how?
Like, he'll just give them alcohol or drugs, or they'll give him drugs.
Have you ever witnessed him doing drugs?
Yeah.
Okay, have you done drugs with him?
No.
Ever? Before rehab?
No.
Oh, I mean, that's capping.
Okay.
You wouldn't need a PhD to recognize that Amber is on something right now besides the Gatorade. And on that note, allow us to introduce you to our next subject. This is 19-year-old Erin Moffett, who recently strangled her own mother to death with an extension cord while coming down off crystal meth. She and her boyfriend then buried her body in an abandoned oil field. Her mother's landlord reported her missing 21 days later, at which point Erin was asked to come in for questioning.
That wasn't important. What?
What we're trying to do is just trying to get a timeline.
Right.
Okay, so I want to start back with what time... When did you move in with your mom again?
Oh, wow.
How long ago was that?
She had been living with her mom for 2 weeks.
When did you realize that your mom was missing?
I got out of jail on the 5th.
Oh wait, that's right. You were arrested on...
She was arrested for possession of cocaine roughly 10 hours after the murder. The detective now takes her to the moment she was released 2 days later.
Okay, when did you get out of jail from Harris County?
At 2:30 a.m. and took a taxi home, and I went in the house and everything was fine. I figured, you know, I just went to my room.
She's licking,
so
rocking.
When did you discover that your mom was missing?
The next morning.
Scratching.
September 6th? How did you determine that she was missing?
Because I'm nosy, and I mean, the car's there. My mom, this right here, that trips me out more than anything. Like, I'm freaking out behind her car, and I looked through her, she has this little blue bag, and I looked through it, her wallet was there, all her identification, down to her pills, I mean, everything except her money. Her money was gone. And I know my mom had to have had at least, because rent is due, like the rent was due, and I ended up having to pay the rent, and I knew she had to have at least money for the rent. Me and my mom, I love her. I do. I really love my mother. But it's a very distant thing.
This is crazy.
I keep myself
She set her up to...
closed off because I have to be that.
Bro, how addicted are you to cocaine that you're trying to set up the whole thing so that you know when they'll have rent money to fucking get it and go score it? It's crazy.
Like, there's days when I won't even answer my phone, you know, because she's just crazy with it. She calls me constantly.
So, hold on a second. Did you have money for your bond, or did you have someone bond you out?
I had money for it.
Where'd you go when you got out of jail on the 5th?
I came home. That's when I came home. And I went in the house, and She wasn't there. And that really sucked. I'm really upset because my mom, last conversation I had with her was about drugs. And it really breaks my heart. I want my mom to be okay, but I always say that but, and people hear it, you know, and they're like, why do you always say that? I have a horrible feeling.
Yeah.
Horrible feeling.
What do you mean?
Because, I mean, look at people who do drugs, you know? My mom, all it would take, you have no idea what this on her, oh my God.
What do you mean?
Her mouth is horrible. She talks so much crap, like threatening, like I'm going to shoot you crap, like horrible stuff. And I always told her, Mama, you're going to handle somebody the way you handle me, and they're not going to be like me. I love you. I'm your daughter. I understand you're crazy. Other people aren't going to understand that. And somebody's going to hurt you. And she don't realize, she thinks she's Superman, you know? She thinks she can talk to anybody and everybody however she wants to, and she does. Believe me, she handles a whole lot of people badly now. And that's what scares me. And I always, you know, she's always said, you know, her mouth is going to get her in trouble. And when you're high and you're hanging out with high people and you talk crap, you get beat on. I mean, I've seen it. You know, I've been through things. So, I mean, I've seen horrible things happen with these drugs.
Okay, so she's yapping pretty much.
Where do you think your mom is now? If we had to go look for her, where should we go look?
If I knew I would be there.
You don't have any idea?
I have no clue. That's why I feel so bad.
Where could she have gone if she had just walked out the door? Because she didn't take her car or anything else. Where could she have just walked to? If she were to walk somewhere.
I don't ever walk anywhere out here. Like, that's out of the question.
You don't have any idea where she could have just walked to?
I don't think my mom just walked. I don't know. It could have been, I don't know who she knows. That's the problem. I don't keep up with her like that. And I wish to God I would have paid more attention now.
You think someone came to pick her up?
It's possible. I mean, anything's possible right now. It's like, I know that that's my mom. I want my mom. It's like, I know when I lay down, like, I want my mom because she's my mom. Like, this is crazy.
So you don't.
There's something real happening here. Perhaps emotional pain. She will quickly bury her face in her hands and shut the emotion down.
You don't think she's anywhere near the home or anything like that?
I have no clue. I'm like space cadet over here in space.
Did you tell? Here's what's disturbing to some of the family members.
Okay. Please let me know.
Did you tell Dina? Did you speak to Dina on the phone?
Yeah. I see how you could read body language and say, oh, she's touching her face, she's lying, whatever. Brother, she's also tweaked the fuck out. I wouldn't read too much into the like.
A few days ago.
Brother, she's on tweak, like hard.
Probably over the weekend, something like that.
It's possible. Every conversation up until, I don't know which one you're talking about, I really don't remember talking to her crazy, except for last night. I didn't really talk. I was respectful, but still probably rude.
Okay, how about this? Did you ever use the word shovel and your mom in the same sentence when you were speaking to Dina?
Oh, yes, I did. She said, why don't you go look for her? And I said, well, what do you want me to do? Grab a shovel? Okay. Because, and I'm sorry, but I'm very unemotional. I'm very, very closed off. And
so do you think that your mom is dead?
When I tell you I have a bad feeling, I'm not kidding.
So you have no idea where she's at? Do you suspect that she's in the ground somewhere?
No, I mean, I'm not sure, but I mean, I'm saying, like, you know, people, I'm telling her, I told Dina, y'all don't know her the way I know her. I'm such
Wait a minute.
Oh, my heart's so screwed up. Like, I can't. I want to accept the worst and just get over it because that's it.
Was your mom depressed?
My mom's psychologically screwed. Okay?
Okay, I'll be right back.
Freeze to death?
Yeah, it's a little bit cold in here. I'll be right back, okay?
A little bit cold, they say. Nah, they turned she into a freezer.
When police searched her mom's trailer, they discovered a missing carpet, blood underneath the rug, and a power cord lying right next to where the blood was found. They called Erin's now ex-boyfriend to come in multiple times for questioning. He would turn up at the police station on the exact day they were set to conduct Erin's second interview. It had been 28 days since the murder.
Okay.
Change your mind and want a drink, just let me know.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Cory. State your name for the record for me, please.
Michael Cory Lewis.
Michael Cory Lewis. I'm glad that we finally got a chance to meet up. Before we begin, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read you your statement of Miranda rights, okay? You know what that is?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so as we've spoken on the phone a couple times, and as you know, what we're trying to do is establish a timeline for Jana's disappearance.
Who's that, her mom?
Yeah, Shannon. Okay. You may know her as Shannon, is that correct? Ashland's?
I don't even remember her name, I met her twice.
Okay, Ashland's mom?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you're familiar with Ashland?
Yes, sir.
Or Aaron, right,
Aaron.
Moffett. Okay, so you've met her mom twice. Her name is Jana Shannon Moffett.
Okay.
Okay. So when did you, on the 2nd, because she was, we're talking about, she was arrested.
Is it guilty? It doesn't seem like it right now.
2:30
in the morning
in Friendswood on the 3rd.
Interesting.
Black Hawk and 528.
Right. Okay, so you remember that?
Yes, sir.
You got that time frame in your head, and you remember when that was?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Take me 12 hours prior to that.
I was at my trailer.
And describe to me each hour of that day.
He claims he was in his trailer for the entire day until he picked up Aaron at 11 p.m. to drive to Friendswood. Jana had been dead for roughly 10 hours at this point.
Were y'all going to get dope or what?
I believe she was.
Okay. What was her frame of mind then? Meaning, how was she acting? Was she?
Well, she had a big bottle of pills, which Xanax. It was like blue pills. I don't even know.
I mean, was she acting different?
Yeah, she was on something.
She was on something?
Definitely. Well, when is she not?
Yeah.
Did Jana ever, or did Ashlyn ever tell you that Jana was missing?
Yeah, whenever she got home.
This guy's a police interview and shows up in a fucking wife beater. Like, holy shit.
Taxi cab to my...
What did she say about it?
My mom's gone. All her stuff's here. Her money's here. Phone. Cigarettes. Keys.
That's just insane.
On the night of the 2nd, when you and Aaron went to Friendswood, did she mention anything about her mother?
Not really.
No?
She was trying to avoid it, I guess. I don't know. She didn't say anything.
I mean, what did she think that happened? I mean...
I don't know. She told me that her mom's like a druggie, and she was just giving me all kinds of information that I didn't really care for.
It's important to note the detectives are not certain of Cory's involvement at this point. They have no concrete evidence that can implicate himself or Aaron, so everything you're about to see is entirely a bluff.
Let's see, do you trust Aaron to Ashlyn? Do you trust Ashlyn to keep quiet about secrets?
I haven't told anybody any secrets. I don't keep secrets.
You think she could keep something quiet?
If she wanted to, I guess. She's pretty good at that. She lies to me a lot, so yeah, probably.
How long have you known her?
Like I said, a couple months.
Couple months?
Maybe.
When we do this type of interview, there's certain things that we already know the answers to that we're going to ask you, just to make sure that you're being honest with us. So,
Chat, it's great to see that this video shows like this strategy working, but more often than not, it doesn't work. And when it doesn't work, it's just so cringe. Chat, I wish I had an example to show you, but it is so cringe.
I guess I got a few questions about the date on the 2nd. You said you had problems remembering dates, and yet you remember the 2nd. Why does that date?
I don't remember. Y'all told me it was the 2nd. He's told me several times she got arrested on the 2nd. And so I'm assuming it was the 2nd.
Well, that's okay. So what were you doing on the 2nd?
Probably woke up like at 2, like I said, and then I don't know. She called me and said she had her mom's car.
Okay.
Oh yeah, the JCS video. I remember.
Remember again. Well, let me back up. This is your chance to kind of tell us what's going on.
Many of you will already know that this is your chance, and this is your opportunity, are pressure tactics disguised as benevolence. The thing is, that doesn't work on the suspect here. What does work is what the detective says next, or more specifically, how she says it.
I have no idea.
We already know what's going on, so this is your chance.
This is your opportunity. That's what you don't understand right now is we know. We know.
We know you were in the trailer that day.
We know you were there. We know about the blood on the carpet. We know about the cord. We know about the rug. We know about the trunk. We know about the ride. We know about the dump. Do you trust Aaron? We will be down there tonight. We will be speaking to her probably about 2 a.m. She will confess.
And I'm gonna be tired by then. I'm not gonna want to hear.
She killed her mom. I know she did.
Stuck a needle in her neck and she choked her with the damn cord.
We know this. Thank you. By you telling us this, I mean, you are doing the right thing. Do you understand that? I know you're scared. I can tell by looking at you, but you're doing the right thing.
I didn't want to have anything to do with it.
I have no doubt.
Oh, man.
But you were there, right?
Cory, look, man. How long you been holding this inside?
A long time, man.
You were in Aaron's room. You guys just had sex. And her mom was, okay, help me out here because the computer is no longer there. I think Aaron pawned
Right
it.
by the door on the left.
Right when you walk in the front door to the left. Okay. Where the stain is, correct?
Like, stands right here, the computer was right
Okay.
here.
Because the computer's no longer there, is why I'm asking.
She probably pawned it.
Jesus.
Okay. Forgive my drawing, but we're gonna say this is inside of the trailer, okay? Then she's the one that.
And she snatched the cord out of the wall.
Where were you when this happened? Tell us where you were at.
There.
Did you hold her mom down?
No.
You didn't hold her down? Come on, Cory. You're doing good. Buddy, you're doing good.
I'm scared shitless, man.
I imagine.
I understand that.
They don't need no consent to
I
go
believe
to the deal. It's case evidence.
Hastings oil field.
Huh?
Hastings oil field.
Is that where she's at?
I mean, I imagine panic. Everybody was panicked.
Yeah, I went with it because she just fucking killed somebody.
Oh, sure.
They take him back to the moment they were both in Aaron's room.
This guy probably just doesn't realize that even if he offloaded everything on her and it was still all on her, him admitting to that is already like crime right there, and then a bunch of other ones coming up too. I mean,
or the murder.
And so what happened?
Not
was she
reporting
talking
it,
about what she was
mishandling of
gonna
a
do?
body, all that shit, like
She said she was going to go out and kill her mom.
And she did. And I stood there.
tampering evidence, concealing all that.
What has Aaron been saying after this? I mean,
She's been trying to keep me to cover it up.
Aaron was arrested the next day and informed that Cory had already told them everything.
Aaron, don't say anything until you sign this document. Okay? We're going to keep this the way it should be. And then you'll have your opportunity to talk.
What I did was wrong, and I know that.
what do you mean what you did was wrong?
Y'all said y'all put Cory in jail already.
Why don't you tell us what happened on the second? Why don't you just start on the second and begin to tell me what happened?
I can't say this shit.
You're pointing to your throat. What did you do?
I can't say it. I'm a piece of shit.
We know what you did.
I know you know what you
Tell me what you did.
I strangled my mom.
You strangled your mom?
Oh, okay, GG, I guess.
I got angry at her and I said something stupid and Cory was like, and people just feed into my negativity, and if you were to just shut me the hell up, I wouldn't say anything, I would be quiet, but he fucking fed into it and it makes my ego big, and then
What did
Oh, nah.
he's just like, you know, if you do it, I'll do it too, blah, 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 you know, and I was like, he just held my mom, and I did that to my mom. My mom. I don't know what the
Did you
fuck
kill
is
your
wrong
mom?
with me.
Did you kill your mom?
Yes. I freaked the hell out and started crying, and I was like, I didn't know what to do, and then I guess we realized that we can't leave my mom laying there, and
What happened right after y'all arrived to the location?
I mean, they also have the motive and everything, like.
took her to where the grass was and stuff, and I fell, and I couldn't do it. I just couldn't. And he just put her in there, and then we left.
Do you remember what you were thinking?
I was pissed off at my mom. Just, we're always fighting about something. It doesn't matter. And it's probably her telling me she just talks all kinds of crap. And it's anger that's built up after days and days of dealing with it. And
Should we take a break?
Do you need anything?
I haven't ate, but
Are you hungry?
For what though?
I don't know. We can get you crackers or chips or something. We'll find something. We'll be right back. I'll get you some crackers. So was this his idea or your idea?
Mine.
Yours?
But he was right there with me the whole time.
I love saltines.
What do you think should happen here? You've already said you understand what you did was wrong, correct? What do you think should happen? I mean, do you understand the severity of what's going on? You do. What typically happens in this type of scenario?
People go to prison. I know I'm in trouble. And I deserve to be in trouble. I just don't.
Is that so
Why
funny?
do you feel like you deserve it?
Because look, my mom. My mom.
You understand that you'll be charged for homicide? You understand that?
Yeah.
Like,
For killing your mom.
I want my mom. Oh, God. So when you went to go interview Cory, he just
Caved.
I love my mom. I feel like a freaking monster.
This moment is absolutely compelling because of the autonomy the interrogator has. He can respond in any way he chooses, or not respond at all. You may have noticed he was playing the role of the bad cop and was especially cold toward Aaron throughout the process. But for whatever reason, in this moment, he chooses empathy.
I don't think you're a monster. I think you made a terrible mistake, okay? Is this your Coke?
Yeah.
Cory Lewis was sentenced to 10 years for his role in the murder. It could not be proven that he held the victim down. Erin Ashlyn Moffett got a 50-year prison sentence. She will be eligible for parole by the time she's 44.
Alright. It should probably be more than 10, I would argue. Just because even though, even in a world where he didn't though, like all the actions leading up to and then the concealment and all that, I would assume it's just kind of like, dude, sometimes that part is more than the main one. So it's like, come on, bro.
So I know we're skipping around here, but I was going back to you said that you were about a yard away from him as he's running.
That's all I really remember.
As he's running, getting help. He was on his knees at this point.
That is a lot.
You said you walked up next to him and did this.
Yeah.
How tall is he from you? Like,
I was standing, and he was like about this tall.
Okay.
And then the like corner parking lot guard started screaming, and then he said, "Get the fuck away from me, bitch!" and like all of this like disgusting language.
Sure.
And then that's when I went to the bamboo room for help. And
now, why didn't you stay on scene if you were trying to get help? Why leave in a Monte Carlo?
I just couldn't stay. I thought that I was going to be blamed for something because all those people, like, with all the witnesses at that time, just trying to group their story and glue it together. I don't trust that.
But why not stay and give your account of what happened? You know what I mean?
Because I knew this would happen today.
Knew what?
Knew that if I showed back on scene, somebody would call, I would go to the police station. I plan on getting my stuff, giving it to my dad, putting the car back and leaving, and then calling about this.
But was
No,
he
it
out
makes sense.
during that
lived
time?
in the apartment complex next door.
She had to do her own research. Pretty much,
yeah,
probably.
I think he was.
He was? Okay.
He must have been. For him to have like seen me and been like, oh, this girl has to go to jail, and then like call police.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, he said that during
minding his
the
own
time?
fucking business.
Did he say that during the time?
Kind of, but like I don't recall.
She has Asperger's? I don't think she has, brother.
Were any of those knives that you had on
I think
you
she's
the
got
one
the
that you used to cut?
exodia of a fucking mental
Which one?
illnesses. She probably got a whole fucking stack of
Okay.
cards.
How many knives do you keep on you?
2.
And there were a lot of knives in that house. Are they yours? Are they his? Is he a knife collector?
Yeah.
Samurai
no,
collector?
I'm telling you, he's seriously. He gave me the samurai.
Oh.
But which is why it's in the trunk of the Monte Carlo right now. Because I wanted to practice with it. But.
Where'd you go after you left?
I parked the car down the street and I just went to sleep.
Now, at any point, did you think to come back and call police once you got there, or you just wanted to get your shit and get out?
I just wanted to get my shit and get out. Like, I'm not used to this sort of like, processing and stuff. But if I need to be called on as a witness or something, I understand. But really,
a witness!
I think it's clear that Blake had tried to threaten me, and I
Dude, that makes
had to
sense,
take
yeah.
action to just get
That
him
makes sense.
done.
As a witness, guys.
So when you say done, what do you mean by that?
Just
away,
no more.
dead?
Away.
Okay.
What I'm trying to say is that I wasn't being like ultra aggressive.
So by him bleeding, because you said you couldn't wait to see it done.
No, as in I could not stay around it like without like checking to see if this guy was not going to get up again. He got shot and got up.
Oh!
Okay, he left outside, and you followed him. You were within a yard of him.
Dude, she closed it up because I was confused at first, but now I get it. She had to.
You cut him again.
No.
Just in case he gets up from his injuries, she needs to give him another one.
My brain had been, no, I did not.
You said
no,
that
I said that my
came up.
mind was fuzzy.
And that concludes the first real pushback of the interrogation, which leads us to our next 2 subjects.
Do you mind if I keep the door closed if we actually have people walking by, and is that cool? Yes.
This is Katrina Ben, who, according to these investigators, was the most confident suspect they've ever dealt with. She began dating a popular car salesman called Eric Samoa in May of 2012, and although he was upfront with her about...
There's a small pause here. Guys, I don't want to be rude to the JCS guy. I feel like I can see the intention of the video of making this case kind of like, oh, look, this is this fraction and this fraction, and kind of build it together, whatever, right? But since these cases are pretty in depth and we're getting involved in those cases by listening and all that, we kind of forget how it plays a role in the main one, and it doesn't really work the way they probably intended it to.
Seeing another woman at the time, Katrina believed, or at least hoped, that she would be the one he'd eventually choose. But early one morning, shortly after they had slept together,
cases are all
she
good,
discovered Eric had called the other woman while she was there. What she was unaware of, and what you will see her find out in real time, was that Eric was calling the other woman to break up with her. Katrina then waited for him to go to sleep, then shot him in the head. Eric was discovered the next day during a welfare check, and Katrina, being the last person he was texting, was asked to come in for questioning. Police would later testify that she seemed genuinely distraught when she was informed of Eric's murder.
Guys, I want a video chat. Guys, I can't call this one.
March 11th, I believe.
And
what does he want?
And how'd you meet up?
I met Eric outside, like 2 weeks after I had been there. I think we get off work or get in about the same time. So I used to get off around 6. Takes me.
Oh, we're getting a switch or what?
And we're walking in, and he asked me if I was a nurse.
She talks about her work as a nurse, and they make an instant connection, seeing each other almost daily for the next 3 weeks. She then gets to the day before Eric's murder, where they were spending the night at his apartment watching the basketball game, when at some point Eric starts calling his dealer to bring him some weed.
He asked them 2 or 3 times, "Where are you at?"
Sorry, I was listening. I'm gonna go back. I'll just text him about it, okay?
Walking in, and he asked me if I was a nurse.
She talks about her work as a nurse and they make an instant connection, seeing each other almost daily for the next 3 weeks. She then gets to the day before Eric's murder, where they were spending the night at his apartment watching the basketball game, when at some point Eric starts calling his dealer to bring him some weed.
He asked them 2 or 3 times, where are you at? Where are you at? Where are you at? And then he just hung up. I don't know if they hung up on him. I don't know, but...
What time do you think that?
Don't ask people,
that was
that's not...
She says she goes to sleep in Eric's bed after the game, while Eric stays in the living room.
I woke up to him talking to somebody, and it was a guy. And I don't know how he knew I was woke. Maybe I coughed or something, I don't know. But I rolled over, and he opened the bedroom door, he came in. And as he opened the door, I could see who I think is the guy from the apartment, like, walk by to go to the couch.
The person she just mentioned is Eric's drug dealer, who she's now trying to pin the murder on. She says she goes back to sleep, then wakes up the next morning.
It had to be right at 5.
Mm-hmm.
Eric's in the bed, and I hear somebody using the bathroom. So the guy's still there, obviously. He used the bathroom. I'm a nurse, so I'm going to notice if you use the bathroom, you don't wash your hands. So use the bathroom. I didn't hear any water running afterwards.
She gets her stuff and goes to leave, and while she's walking out of the apartment, she feels someone push the door shut behind her.
And when I felt the nudge on the door, I thought it was Eric coming behind me, because he usually walks me to the door and locks the door. But
you didn't see him come up behind you, like to the front?
No. I went out the
the bathroom and immediately made a right.
Yeah, like I wasn't trying to look, see him, or anything.
This detective sucks. Guys, I had to analyze this too much and maybe be like nitpick or whatever. When somebody's about to say some dumb shit, you let them say it. Like, bro, she's up, she's sitting up, she's talking. Yo, let her finish, man. Don't give her a way out. Fucking let her do some shit.
Immediately made a right.
Yeah, like I wasn't trying to look, see him, or anything. I was just trying to leave. So I walked out the bathroom door and grabbed the front door. And as I was going out like this, like my hand is pulling the door to, the door started pushing up. Like somebody's trying to help me close the door, you know. I thought it was Eric trying to come to the door, like, where you going? But I saw, like, this side of the guy. I just thought it wasn't Eric, his little skinny arm. But I did put, like, dude almost hit me in the ass with the door when I left. LOL, you know.
You see that?
Right here.
Wow, that's crazy. Alright.
This detective would later testify that he believed Katrina was innocent by this moment. The truth is that she had sent the text message after Eric was already dead.
But even then...
Katrina left soon after this moment. The investigators then located and arrested Eric's drug dealer. He denied ever having been inside Eric's apartment. Katrina was asked to come back dead. Katrina left soon after this moment. The investigators then located and arrested Eric's drug dealer.
Really?
He denied ever having been inside Eric's apartment. Katrina was asked to come back in, a week after her first interview.
Hey, Trina.
Hey, how are you?
Really, really, dude? Really?
Hi.
The lady walks in, walks out, nothing. And then the plug gets in and gets you to jail.
Questions? Yeah. Do you have some time? Okay, cool.
The detectives are once again suspicious, especially this one. The main thing they're doing here is getting a read on Katrina. Her answers aren't as important to them as how she responds to this situation.
Alright, so, we're still, like, in the middle of things.
Okay.
And like I told you before, you shed so much light on Eric that, you know, we haven't gotten from a lot of people. And, this will be, like, our only opportunity while you're here to maybe just go over the story just maybe one more time. Maybe you just remember something just a tiny bit more that might give us we need to arrest the person responsible.
Is there something in particular you just want to know?
What Katrina is doing
this guy, I can't do
here is very rare.
How is he leading this interview? I don't
instead
get
of
it.
avoiding it and dictating the atmosphere as a result. She's sitting in a room with the 2 lead investigators for the murder she committed, telling them to cut to the chase.
That's everything that I said before. You can ask me anything.
Really, I think if you could kind of go through the story again over the last, I think it was like Thursdays where you started. Because we're trying to establish, like, everybody he talked to, was with,
Is this a camera?
place he went.
Yeah.
You guys recorded it, right?
Oh my God, I can't.
The first one?
Yeah.
Right.
No.
We have follow-up questions from your first
Okay,
interview.
well, just ask me what you want me to know, because I don't want to go through all this again. That was a long time. I don't want to go through it all again. You can just ask me directly. I don't care. Ask me anything.
Alright.
Okay.
Alright, that's fine. Did he
She's
grab
a
the
check
door
Nevada.
anywhere? Do you remember?
He apparently had to be touching it. I don't know. He was shutting the door. He was touching it somewhere.
So you got out from the bedroom, through the closet, and out that way. And he came up somewhere from the living room area, and we on the way touched the door. Alright.
Do you remember any phone calls he made, like say after midnight that night? Because there's a couple like unknown numbers that we're trying to figure out who they were. Yeah. And
I went to sleep after sex, so he might have been up on the phone. I have no idea.
Okay.
The last thing they do is bring her photographs of Eric's apartment to see if anything is out of place or missing.
So when did it sink in?
Last night.
Really? You're pretty much numb on all day yesterday.
Yep. Very tired now.
I know the feeling. We've been pretty much working around the clock for about a week now.
She doesn't see anything worth mentioning in the photographs.
I think he was the one.
Eric, do I think he was the one for me? Actually, no. But he was trying to convince me that he was the one.
Really?
That's why I was like, I don't know. I mean, we got closer and closer. We were very close. But I knew he was a ladies' man. I knew he was a ladies' man.
Katrina left the interrogation room, and the case went cold for over a year.
What?
Then, out of sheer luck, a gun was found in a ditch roughly 2 miles from Eric's apartment, and ballistic testing confirmed it was the murder weapon that killed him. The gun was then traced to its last owner, who was Katrina Ben. She was arrested and charged with first-degree murder, then interrogated by the same detectives a week later. She was unaware of the evidence they had against her, and their first question was if she had a gun. She said she did, but couldn't remember the last time she saw it.
Wouldn't you agree that it's pretty important to know where your gun is?
It is. I totally agree. But I don't want to make up any stories. I've learned when I try to make up stuff, it doesn't.
So then,
it's in my possession.
Where did you originally obtain the gun?
At a pawn shop.
Where?
Columbia, Mississippi.
What do you remember about when?
2003 when I had the stalker. 2003, 2004, a long time ago.
So
pretty quick.
She just
Yeah,
tossed the gun like overhead, like.
Trina, you are good.
What?
I'm telling you. It's easy to tell the truth.
We found the gun. Okay?
Oh,
and you know where we found the gun. Okay, and this is basically, this is what it's going to come down to, okay?
Okay.
You can continue to go through this as you didn't kill Eric, or nothing happened between.
And I absolutely did not.
Okay, let me tell you how it would look like, too. You see how bad that looks?
It doesn't make sense.
Why they were being friendly? They didn't have enough evidence.
Let me tell you this.
What this guy testified that he didn't know she was guilty. He thought she was innocent until the second interview.
I don't think this is done. You think I'm just like making it up?
I mean, I really and honestly do.
Okay.
So I don't know how would anybody have my gun. We didn't have
nobody
any
did have your
friends.
gun. You had your gun.
Okay.
And it was you.
Trina, let me tell you. I mean, there's not just. I respect you doing your job. I do.
Your gun, the gun that's registered to you, that we have your signature where you're getting the gun.
Yeah.
Is the murder weapon? Just that alone.
So why didn't they ask that initially though? That you live with somebody, the person got shot, whatever. Then you're like, yo, wait, just ask him, do you have a gun? Like, did they not ask that?
Alone. There's no.
Chat is not slow, it's just broken.
No doubt saying that you think I'm good and I'm smart.
What else did you learn about him?
Oh, because they forgore.
Eric's an awesome man.
Did you hear?
I absolutely miss
Did you hear him arguing with his
That makes
girlfriend?
sense, yeah.
Oh, no.
No?
Mm-mm.
What about other women?
Why would he argue with his girlfriend?
I don't know.
I didn't even know he had a girlfriend.
Forgore, you're
He was
chilling.
talking to her on the phone while we
You
were
said he
with
called,
him.
when did he said he called a girl at 2 in the morning or something like that?
He was actually breaking up with her on the phone.
Huh?
You'd be forgiven for thinking.
Whoa!
He argued with her.
No?
Mm-mm.
What about other women?
Why would he argue with his girlfriend?
I don't know.
I didn't even know he had a girlfriend. But
He was talking to her on the phone while we
you
were
said he
with
called,
him.
when did he said he called a girl at 2 in the morning or something like that?
He was actually breaking up with her on the phone.
How do you know that?
You'd be forgiven for thinking this moment belonged in an ancient poem or a Greek tragedy. But unfortunately, it's a true story with a real victim.
Yeah. That wouldn't upset me.
Oh, the witness. Yeah, okay.
No.
Well, did he ever do anything that upset you?
No, never. Eric was absolutely amazing, and I wish I would have known how he really felt. I wish I would have believed him. When
Did
he
you
told
tell
me
us
he was in
before
love with
that
me.
he tried to, because you guys have an argument?
No, Eric never argued with me. I would rather sit here and say, "Oh, you think I did it?" Well, he, I don't know, stole from me or killed my father or something. Eric did nothing. He did nothing. I can't even make anything up. Eric did nothing.
So what would your best
He did nothing
explanation
but
be
pull your
as
heart
to
out to
how
me.
your gun was used to kill him and you were the
I
last
have
person
no
in his
idea.
apartment?
I have no idea.
All right, then you are going to go down. Like in 5 years, I've been doing homicide as the most cold-blooded person I've ever had to deal with.
Let's go.
Katrina Ben was found guilty of first-degree murder at trial. She was then sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Katrina's level of confidence and composure under certain moments of pressure is what makes her a very unique case study. So in keeping with...
I actually agree with it. I agree with the narrator a lot, actually. Usually he says some shit on JCS that I don't agree with it. I agree 100%. Dude, she was kind of rolling that.
With the structure of
She
this
was locked
video,
in hard.
Our next subject will be very different.
She was even doing the nonchalance, which is like
I need him,
they
I
rarely
here
do.
now. I saw my father's car outside, and I'm not really sure why he's here.
Your father's car?
Yeah.
He's safe right now.
Who is he with?
He's going to be with an officer right now, so...
Okay, because the previous officer that I spoke to on the phone said that he was with my sister, and she doesn't have custody of him either, because she's not his guardian.
Okay.
So I need to know where my kid is, and I need to know what's happening, because nobody's telling me anything.
Okay. Fair enough. I don't know what's happening either. I just got here as well. I was just told come walk you in, so I'm sure they're bringing somebody down. We're going to tell you what's going to happen. Do you want to take a seat for a second?
Chat, Jesus.
You can stay standing if you'd like, but...
This is 26-year-old Devon Shriner, who 5 hours and 7 minutes prior to this moment shot her ex-boyfriend, Jason Schaefer, 3 times while he was on his postal route.
Yo.
The reason she did this
What's going on with all the guys that are getting killed, man? Like, what the fuck is happening here?
was because she found out that
Everybody's
Jason
getting
had
fucking
filed for
wiped
increased
out.
custody of their 5-year-old son and had started dating her own sister within the same week. Devon is...
Oh my god. Yo, what the... Yo, this guy...
herself a postal worker, so she thought that by leaving her postal scanner 20 miles from the crime scene, she would have a simple alibi, that she was at work during the time of the shooting. The issue is that she underestimated how easily her movements could be tracked, as her own vehicle was caught on CCTV just a few blocks from the crime scene, identified by a missing hubcap on the passenger side. She was also captured on multiple cameras running back to her car from the shooting.
What?
Now what you just saw, as Devon entered this interrogation room, is her entire strategy. She will lean into this emotional front of supposed anger over her son being taken out of school without her permission, which on paper seems very cunning, because it's far from the typical demeanor of a guilty suspect walking into a police station, and in theory...
Yeah, but at the same time, though, she seemed like the custody thing is a big deal for her. Like, it's almost like a sense of pride. I think she probably she wasn't even playing that up. She probably actually feels that way.
would change the entire dynamic of her interrogation, but you'll notice that it doesn't quite
She's
have the
piggybacking
desired
it, but
effect.
still true, though.
Okay. Where is my son?
he is at the police department and he is safe with
So
an
he's
officer
not
right now.
here?
This is the police department. He is here.
Okay, well,
I just
why
don't
is
know
he
which
not
one.
here with me? I need him to be here with me. I haven't seen him and I don't know what's happened. He was taken
Bombastic
from the school
side-eye. What is
without
that?
my knowledge or consent.
Can I have the detective talk to you first and he'll explain what's going on? Okay, he's here right now, so we'll figure it out.
Oh no, wait, dude, she's one of these.
All
right. Thank you. Mind if I shut the door?
Touching my door's assault. Touching my door's
I
assault.
don't really care. I want my son.
The reason that Devon's strategy is about to fall apart has everything to do with this detective, because he basically doesn't give a damn. He clearly feels that he already has enough...
Dude, because when you're bald, you have nothing to lose anymore. Like, bro, when you're that bald, what do you have to lose? Of course he doesn't give a fuck, dude. He's lost the only thing that he cares about is
evidence to
hairline.
close out the case, and will communicate almost exclusively with sarcasm and passive aggression. You're about to see him blatantly accuse Devon a total of 7 times over the course of this footage. Yet instead of confronting the elephant in the room, as we saw with Katrina, Devon will avoid it at all costs, and cling on to this feigned state of annoyance as her escape route, each and every time, and it's absolutely fascinating to watch.
Where is my son?
I'll tell you everything. How about that? You're Devon?
Yes.
Am I pronouncing it right?
Yes.
I'm Steve. You can call me Steve. I gotta kind of step back here a little bit. I gotta tell you some bad news. Your ex-boyfriend, is it? Ex-husband?
I just call him my son's dad.
Son's dead.
We were never married, but
He died today.
what? How? What
The
happened?
good news is we found the killer.
In the face? Where?
On his postal route.
He missed out on a good opportunity here, Chad.
He was working today? He doesn't...
Yeah.
That's cinema.
And, someone came up and shot him.
When did this happen?
12:32 today.
It is 6 o'clock.
Yeah, because the case is so serious, I don't want to do anything to violate your rights, anything like that. So everyone that
My rights and my son's rights were violated when you took him from school and did not contact me.
Yeah, so that's what I want to talk to you about. So let me read your. Have you ever seen cop shows?
Yeah.
They're on like every night. These are the same rights. Although you probably know them. Have you seen? So let me read it to you. Can I still call you Devon, right?
Yes.
All right, Devon, let's get through this. Devon, you have the right to remain silent. So I want to talk to you about this case.
I need to see my son.
We need to figure out what's going on and how your husband, how your baby's father died. And I don't want to turn over the ex to the baby until I know that everything's legit and that you're calm and that you're rational and you're not a crazy person because I've never met you before.
I'm not calm. My son was taken. Nobody told me that anything happened. My son was taken from school by either police, and I was not informed, or by somebody who is not legally allowed to pick him up from school.
Yeah. So here's what's going on. If the ex-husband shows up at the school and the wife's dead, we're not going to release the kid to the ex-husband who just killed the mother. You know, that's going to put the kid in harm's way. So that's just standard police 101 business.
But nobody called me.
Yeah.
When did you pick him up from
Did she
school?
not understand what you just said?
Okay, I called his daycare at 5-ish, and she said he was still there.
When we got a homicide like this, we had a lot of people working on it.
Okay, but then nobody did. They have my contact information.
Yeah.
So they couldn't have
You're
just
not-
said,
Yeah, you're not listening though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I want them to release the child to you.
don't release him to me. But you could. Nobody even told me his whereabouts.
Well,
I thought he was with his
The
father.
police escorted him back here. The child is being interviewed by
Okay.
a forensic interviewer.
He should not be interviewed because I didn't give consent for him to be spoken
He's
to.
a witness, so he doesn't need consent from the police.
Was he there? Was he in the?
But he's going to tell us
She
about the
still doesn't get it. It's insane.
But I don't.
You don't understand.
He's 5.
Well, he might not have anything to say. But
No, I don't understand how this can all happen without me even knowing that anything happened in the first place. I am asking why.
Well, she's not being up too. Is that she's just dumb. He said twice that they're not going to release the child to a killer, is what he said.
I was not contacted in any sort of form about my child's whereabouts or that there was even an incident.
I don't know about that specifically. I know we wanted to find you and we were trying to track you down.
You could have
Oh,
found
yeah, she's
me
up too.
when
Yeah,
you
yeah,
picked him
yeah,
up from
exactly,
school
yeah, you're
because
right.
they have my information. I pay for him to go to that school. They have that information.
We're kind of going around in circles here. I'd like to exonerate you if you didn't have anything to do with this and get you out of this police department.
Yes, because I would like to see my
I
son.
don't think you want to hang out with me. Do you know of anyone that want to get Jason in trouble
In trouble? No.
or out to get him?
Wait, dude. Dude. He's gonna realize that she's so fucking dumb. The thing went so above her head that he's actually gonna try to fuck. Dude, hold on, chat. Do you see what just happened?
Nothing like that. Okay. Does
Dude,
it surprise you that someone would go?
This guy escalated the thing, and now he's going backwards.
It surprises me a
and
lot.
see if she's gonna get her to fucking snitch on herself.
You know, I don't
didn't
know anybody that would want to hurt him.
So I want to transition a little bit here.
The detective is about to reveal the extent of the evidence they have against her.
I don't pretend to know everything that happened, but there are some things that are really kind of concerning me. We saw your car in the area of the crime scene. Your car was a Nissan Rogue that is missing a front passenger front hubcap. We caught your car on a license plate reader a little while ago with your license plate, and it has that passenger hubcap missing. Sure enough, in the videos around the crime scene, that car is there with that front passenger bumper.
Chat, that is fucking wild that they got that. That's almost kind of scary. Chat, wait. It scans all the plates and it takes like pictures of the car and it just puts that onto a mega data bank or whatever, and it can go back at any given time and they can just get the fucking photo. Yo, chat, that's kind of.
Devon doesn't say a word.
That's kind of wild.
So I'm really kind of concerned. I know that you got served just the other day with the child custody order, and you're a little upset about that. You told AJ, you told Devon in the past that AJ knows where you live, and that he'll shoot you if he needs to.
I've told who?
You told that to Devon, and Devon told that to Rose, your sister.
The detective was talking about her boyfriend AJ, but got the names mixed up, and Devon now chooses to respond by acting confused, moments after sitting silent during the reveal of the evidence.
Yeah. Well, Jason heard that from you. You said that.
I said that? I've never said that.
So why is your car in the crime scene area? Why are you in that area in your car, and why are you turning off your scanning?
I didn't turn off my scanner.
No, you did.
No, I didn't.
She technically didn't turn off her scanner, but she's once again arguing semantics as her new escape route, instead of confronting
classic,
the ever-clarifying reality directly in front of her.
Before the homicide?
That happens a lot when you're arguing with a bitch ass. When you're arguing with a bitch ass, you're like, dude, I'm mad about it, but here's 10 things that are fucking disgusting that you do. And be like, well, actually, that one, the ninth one, wasn't really like that though. It was like, dude, oh my god, bro. Oh my god, brother.
It's stationary for like 3 hours or more. And it should be mobile because you're working, but it's at your boyfriend's house. And why is your car...
People, I don't know what it's called, like Total Tactics.
We've got video of your car in the crime scene area.
I don't know why.
I've heard about that. There's a book about that.
My car was down there, but I don't...
Listen.
If I don't scan...
She attempts to trail off into post office protocol, so the detective escalates the confrontation.
Okay, I wrote the book.
Lunch break, sort of.
You got me. You got me.
I think you're a good person, but something's not right here. I think the gig is up. There's something weird going on here. Everything is pointing to you being involved in this shooting. The video of the shooter looks kind of like you. It's from a distance, but it looks like your height and your build. It doesn't look like AJ's height and build. Now, we're going to search your house, we're going to search your car, we're going to seize your car. It's not a random shooting. And so the gig is up, okay?
I read on the way here about what happened, and they said that a man shot him.
That's what we originally thought, yeah. Now we're thinking it could be you. We're thinking it could be maybe your boyfriend. Thank you? That's not the question. That's not the right answer.
What am I supposed to say?
We're trying to get all this evidence together, and we're trying to put the pieces together. And I don't think you're being truthful with me. Your ex, who you've said...
This is another chapter in the Total Tactics. It's however uphill the battle is, always to get a win in. It's a chapter. She's tried it. The thanks is a way for her to catch a dub in an unwinnable battle.
Devon, who's been sitting in denial and avoidance for the entirety of this interrogation, will now directly challenge the detective for a display of passive aggression, and he quite simply doesn't know how to react.
It could have just been an off-the-cuff remark. We're going to do a gunshot test.
It could be her being like, hey...
We're going to do a gunshot residue test on
What do you mean, A?
No.
Oh, she's cooked. Yeah, she's cooked. Chat.
The detective.
Chat. 5 hours, 2 days. It doesn't even fucking matter. It doesn't matter. No. Yeah, chat. I thought the test was unreasonable in RP when it's like the same day or something, like a couple hours. Brother, that shit is forever. It's
Now
it's
does
not forever,
what he
but
should
it's a
have
long
done
time.
from the start of this interrogation.
I'm asking you to trust me. Because if you didn't do this and things got out of control and you panicked and you didn't think this guy was going to kill him, you thought maybe he's going to rough him up, that's understandable. So that's why I want you to trust me, if something like that happened.
I understand why I would be a suspect because of who I am related to him.
And your car.
But I don't...
She doesn't consent, is what she's saying. She doesn't consent.
I don't...
She doesn't consent to this, chat.
There was things in the past that have happened with him and I that I could have gone to court, or I could have tried to call the police. I mean, I have, and it didn't help, but there's other things that I could have done. Why would I shoot him?
The detective now reverts back to not giving a shit.
I don't know why people ever shoot people. Your car was there. So tell me someone borrowed your car.
I was at work on my route, which is not close to the not super close to the post office.
See, it doesn't seem like much,
xQc.
right?
I'm starting a garden in my backyard for the first time. Can you throw some seeds my way?
Funny. Yeah, anyway.
Your car in Longmont when you're scanning.
Now she's locked into a certain route.
On my route working.
She would have to debunk.
In a mail truck or your personal car?
No, I work in a mail truck.
Okay. So why is your car down here killing your ex?
I don't know, but it
you
sounds
understand
like...
why that's so concerning to me.
Yes, I do understand
so did someone
that.
borrow your car? Help me out here.
I don't know, but it seems like with all of these things that you're going to be doing that I need to have a lawyer or ask for a lawyer. Or
Oh, dude.
I
A
don't know
lawyer.
what I'm supposed to say about that, but...
Dude,
before that,
chat,
but-
you can see at this moment, chat, just the light just gonna, boom, it just turned on in her head. Dude, I'm 5-headed. I want a lawyer. Too easy. Got him. I want a lawyer. I saw the movies, they said that you can't get interviewed anymore now. Since I've said it, I want a lawyer. Yeah, I win. This
Devon
bald
then
guy's
speaks
never
to
gonna
a
get
postal
me.
inspector
What a
for
moron.
an hour and a half, who doesn't get anywhere either. They then collect forensic evidence before we reach the end of the footage, and they all just stand there, sharing the awkward moment together.
Right. So, here's the situation. I need you to go ahead and turn around for me. Turn around. Put your hands behind your back. Interlace your fingers. Do not move, okay?
Am I under arrest then?
We'll discuss that here in just a second.
Devon's deleted text messages further
just
confirmed
get
the
to
murder
Intel
was
chip and
premeditated,
it's non-stop
as she had
gone.
planned.
No. We're watching the video, man.
Devon's deleted text messages.
We'll discuss that here in just a second.
Devon's deleted text messages further confirmed the murder was premeditated, as she had planned the whole thing out with her boyfriend, who was tailing Jason's car and feeding her information about his whereabouts right before the murder. They were both given life sentences without the
Really, dude? Bro, this is a fucking torture hunter.
possibility of parole.
You said
No,
that
I
you,
said that
you
my
came up.
mind was fuzzy. And then what I was feeling was upset, sad, and just scared.
Understood. You what?
Nothing. I'm just like suffering from some digestive complications.
Alright. Give me a minute.
Yeah, she's like an autist.
He said he last remembered your hand being inside the purse, and you were pulling away, and that's when he remembered getting shot.
I pulled it from him and I shot him.
Now, he then said he ran out, crawled across the road, and at one point, you jumped on his back and then cut his throat.
Whoa!
I didn't.
Do you remember that?
No.
You don't
I didn't
remember
jump
that?
on his back or anything.
So why would he be lying about this?
I don't know. Probably to cover it up. He was on drugs. He was seriously fucked up. That's just wrong.
So you're saying everything that he said in here, nothing is the truth?
Bro, imagine you see somebody jump on somebody's back and then they knife their throat. Brother, I would think that there's some sort of like alien invasion happening, or like a zombie. Yo, I drive off like fucking 5 hours out before I'm gone.
No, nothing. Besides the fact that he crawled across
That's
the street.
a demon.
Yeah.
A demon.
She explains that she got changed into a new pair of clothes after she stole the victim's car.
Okay, why'd you change clothes?
Because I didn't want to be recognized by any of the neighbors when I got back to finish, like, taking my bullshit and just leaving. That way I could just call about this and say, hey, Blake is a scary man, and I had to fuck him up to get away from him. That's what I wanted to do. But then those nosy neighbors called again.
Dude, the nosy neighbors, chat. Don't you hate them when they do that? Dude. When they try to jump on people's back and then they call when they see something.
Seems like you're in a daze.
Dude, come on, bruh.
Just replaying scary stuff in my head.
So nosy.
Will I be taken to court over anything? Do you know yet?
It's possible.
Okay.
It's possible. I need to see how he's doing. I need to check up on that status. So we're gonna have to be here until I know.
Until you know what?
How his status is.
So if he's dead or alive? Or So I have to be held here?
Dead or alive mentioned.
So I can't leave today?
No, not right now.
Why did you tell me it was a possibility before?
Because it was a possibility, because I still need to find out.
Oh.
Okay.
Alright.
Let me guess, what's a lawyer now?
You gonna make some calls?
Too easy.
In contrast to the subjects who were interjected into this video, Amber seems to be void of a psychological component they all shared. She was certainly being strategic at times in this interrogation. She would try and justify her actions and deny certain elements. But as far as emotional deception, there was none, which makes her an extraordinarily unique suspect that's actively trying to get away.
What's going on in there, man? She's on tweak. Chat, she's still on the come down of whatever the fuck. Chat, that shit is still in, because she's doing like the tweak motion.
Away with murder. There's been some informal speculation online that Amber has autism, but whether or not she's autistic has nothing to do with why she's
I said that!
Sitting in that chair. It likely has almost everything to do with her chronic abuse of methamphetamines and the psychological damage that tends to come with it.
I also said that! Chat, don't do methamphetamine, yo. Chat. Even when you're off it and you're not doing it anymore, methamphetamine causes neurotoxicity even after first use. Maybe it's gonna be maybe a bit negligible here and there, but overall, it always causing damage, permanent neurotoxic damage. Don't do it.
They ask Amber for a visual demonstration.
I tried to find a tall person. Okay, I'm not that tall, but you said he was taller than you, so I just wanted to see, while you were in the house, how it actually happened.
And I was like kind of...
Oh, hell no!
He came over to me, and he started like asking me questions. And that's when I just decided that I would do something like this to get things out of his hand. And I turned the gun around, and I just kind of hunkered up and pulled.
Okay.
Oh my! Hey yo!
And I just kind of hunkered up and pulled.
Okay.
Okay. Austria.
All right. Knife.
You're like on the floor. You're bleeding. You get up and you come towards me. That's when I took this out and just quickly slashed him.
Blake is running this way, I think, because the house is back that way.
Yeah, and Blake collapses on the floor.
Okay, you can collapse, sir.
You're basically like this, but on the other side. And I just like added a little like quick like pull. Like,
so is this the other side of his neck now?
No, just like the same exact place.
Okay. You did switch it, but it was still the same direction, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Understood.
It's so funny.
Alright. Better picture. I should probably do this more often.
That was fun.
Sorry, give me 1 minute. Let me get you another one. If you need to use the restroom, let me.
Yeah, I'd like to use the restroom.
If I can find pants, would that be okay? I mean, it's kind of weird.
Pants.
Yeah.
Amber took a plea deal and pled guilty to attempted murder. She was sentenced to 20 years in prison.
Wait, he lived. Yo, creature. Oh my god! Chat, no. Chat, this is not right. Dude, she's tweaked. 2 videos in 1 year? You're spoiling us. Jeez, man. Even the commenters are getting on this chat. She says, like that one friend you rarely see, but when you do, it's the best visit ever. Jeez. The thing that goes back to not giving a shit is the high quality analysis that we came to JCS year. Yeah, I'm actually glad that the channel listened to criticism from the other video. Because the other video was shit. It was really bad. And it reverted to the analytic. We know there's some analysis work being done by some professionals or whatever, but also it's a little bit of edgy and a little bit of common day talk. We like that. It was an okay video. I'm gonna be honest with you. The other cases were a lot more interesting than the main case. So I feel like this video was built like in a certain way, and I was like, oh wow, we already did put so much work into this. Let's just finish it like that. But as a piece together, it didn't really work for me. But I don't care because the video was good because all the parts were good. Like the one before and then the 5 ones, all that. So it worked. It worked as like segments, which is cool. But the plan probably wasn't fantastic. But it's all good though. I'm not mad about it. I like the title JCS chooses. Every other channel is always like the craziest skits you've ever seen. Yeah, because you already know the tone of the video. Because if you watch JCS, you know what kind of vibe you're getting. Like the title sets the tone before you start watching. Because you know the type of vibe that they're gonna start with. The tune. This is no normal afternoon. Blah 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 blah. What is it? I enjoyed it. Well done.
To get him.
The Oilers won? Nah.